today, so I did work. And I will tell you guys about my makeup look yesterday, but I'm actually filming this the day that I'm wearing this look, but I actually didn't film the look that I wore yesterday because I got home at like 12 last night. And then like by the time I was ready to like get into bed and stuff, it was like 2 a.m. So it's like it's way too late for me to film a clip right now. So anyway, that's not the point. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the Clarins lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh, the Urban Decay pressed powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, I went back into the Ensley Rain Cosmetics Cold Moon palette because I haven't used it in a little while. And like I said, I've been using the Groovy Garden one a lot more, so I decided I wanted to go back into this one today. I think I've now used maybe like 3 or 4 of these shades again, because again, I haven't really dipped into it again much, but I wanted to use it today. So I went into Orithia and the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Catmint, and then I used Garnet on the outer corners, and then for the lid I went into Saturnalia, which is a really beautiful like goldish shade. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use this shade Snow Fairies or Aurora. Actually, I'm always so torn as to which lid shade in here that I want to use, because the lid shades in here are absolutely stunning and there's so many beautiful options. But I decided to go with that one. It's kind of more of like a goldy pinkish shade. And then I went into Mauja on the brow bone, and then for the inner corners I used Forbidding because it's just an easy regular shimmer in this palette. And that's everything that I used from the palette. And then for my eyeliner and stuff, sorry, I'm just tired. Where is the liner that I used? I just went into the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Charmer. And then for my mascara, I went into the Essence Lash Primer, and then I went into the Lancome Idol Mascara, and then I went into the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes, and then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. And then for my foundation and concealer, I went into the Laura Mercier Weightless Perfecting Foundation in the shade 1C1 Cool Vanille. And then for my concealer, I went into the Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Concealer in the shade 0N1. And then I set my under eyes with the Pemagrath Labs powder. And then I set my face with the Urban Decay pressed powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into the Dior bronzer in the shade 01 Tan Bronze. And then for my blush, I went into the Haus Labs Color Fused blush. I didn't really have much time to figure out what blush that I wanted to use this morning, because I kind of like decided like what I wanted to wear like this morning rather than last night, because again, I got home at like 12. So I went into the shade Hibiscus Haze. And then for my highlight, I just went into my Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Mesmerize, which is just a really beautiful like pinky highlight. And then I set my face with the with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray. And then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I just went into the Beauty and the Beast lip duo again, because again, I didn't really have that much time to pick out what lippy I wanted to wear, and this was just right next to me, and I love this one. It's just so beautiful. So I went into the lipstick and the lip gloss this time, and I went into the pink shade. I still can't remember what this is called every time. It's the shade Not So Odd as the lipstick, and the lip gloss is Bookworm. They're just both so beautiful. So that's what I used for my lips, and that's everything I use as far as my makeup goes. And then as far as a reading update goes, I'm still reading Abby Jimenez's Part of Your World. I haven't really gotten as far into this as I would like to. I'm on page 120. It's like a 370 something page book, but all I'm going to do is read right now because I'm actually enjoying this so much. I really do love and enjoy the way that Abby Jimenez writes. I kind of even enjoy her dialogue more so than like any other romance author that I've read because it's just so natural and it's not like these like I love Emily Henry's characters, but like so far in Book Lovers and Beach Read, both of the female protagonists have been ridiculously funny and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But with the female main character in this book, she's like not funny all the time. She's just like a little bit more naturally funny with the guy that she ends up meeting. And it's just so cute. I love it so far. So I'm really excited to read more tonight. And actually tomorrow I'm going to Philly with my mom and my brother because we are going to see my cousin and his kids. We actually have never met them before. And it's like for something for his baby. It's not necessarily a baby naming. I'm actually not quite sure what it's for. But we have to be on the train at like 8 in the morning. So we have to be ready by 8 a.m. So I have to get up at 7. So I worked till like a little bit after 7. I got home at like 7:30. So now I have like 5 hours until I need to go to bed. I'm going to try and go to bed by like 1, maybe 2. But I have to force myself to go to sleep earlier. I am pretty tired, so what else is new? So yeah, and my reading update in the previous clip is not going to be like completely accurate because I'm going to film it after I take my makeup off tonight. So yeah. Bye! Okay, so hey there guys, I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I'm actually filming this the day later, but I don't want to keep on saying my makeup look for yesterday, so, and you guys don't know it's the next day anyway, so, until I told you. So anyway, I went and saw one of my best friends, Chris, and we had such a great time together. No, that was the day before. This past, today, because you think it's today, right? I went to my other friend Chris, and we went to like this dumpling place that's supposed to have like Long Island's like best dumplings, and it was good, but it wasn't like some places are just like overhyped, I feel like, but it was still really good. And then we went back to his place and we played Mario because that's what we usually do when we go back. And then I'm not seeing him again until Tuesday, and we're going to go see Fall Guy, which I'm really excited for, and we're going to see my other friend that we haven't seen since the escape room and the chocolate expo day, which was like a couple weeks back, and we're going to go see the movie. So anyway, I prime my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I use the Clarins lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay Pressed powder. I'm really tired, so I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, I went into the ColourPop Alice in Wonderland palette. I've been using quite a bit of ColourPop this past week. So I'm going to try and use some different brands this weekend. I did use Ensley Rain, well, today technically, but I'll tell you guys about my look for the day before, obviously, I guess, whatever. So I went in with Curiouser and Curiouser in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Talking Flowers because I wanted to use the pink. And then I actually used one shade from the Beauty and the Beast palette to deepen up the outer corners. I went into Dinner Invite, which is that deep royal blue. It's really beautiful, so I used that. And then for my lid, I went into Down the Rabbit Hole, which is like my favorite shimmer in this palette. And also, like, even though I knocked this palette, before I got it, these shimmers I feel like perform a little bit better than the ones in the Beauty and the Beast palette, but I prefer the Color Story of the Beauty and the Beast palette a lot better. But the blue shimmer that's in the Beauty and the Beast palette doesn't adhere to the lid as well as the one in this palette. It's like this color right here. I don't think they're the exact same color. I think the Down the Rabbit Hole shade is much more gold blue, but it's just such a pretty shimmer. And then for the inner corners, I went into Very Merry on Birthday. So I really only used like these 4 shades, but they're pretty. The Periwinkle Blue is like the best matte in this palette. It's so pretty. So that's everything I use as far as my eyeshadow goes. And then for my brow bone, I just went into Brighter Days from Blend Bunny, of course. From the Forget Me Not palette. What else is new? Trying to grab my liners, like... I went into the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Prance. Because duh, it's a beautiful Periwinkle Blue. And then I went into the Essence Lash Primer. And then for my mascara... I don't remember what mascara I used. I think I used the Gwen Stefani Can't Stop Staring mascara. Why can I speak right now? Because I hadn't used it in quite a while. Then I went into the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. And then for my foundation, I went into the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation in the shade 10NN. And then for my concealer, I went into the Urban Decay Stay Naked Correcting Concealer in the shade 10NN as well. And then I set my face with the Urban Decay powder. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then for my bronzer, what did I use? I don't remember what I used. Was it the NYX one? Can't remember if it was the Gucci or the NYX one. Maybe it was this one. I actually really can't remember. I think I used the NYX matte bronzer in the shade medium. Maybe? I can't remember, but one of those. And then for my blush, I went into one of the coinciding blushes from the ColourPop Alice in Wonderland collection, and I just used my favorite pink, which is the shade Oh Dear. I've been using a lot of pink shades lately. I mean, hello, it is the summertime. I mean, the springtime. Not the summertime, Caitlin. And then for my highlights, what did I use for highlighter? It's right in front of me. I used the Urban Decay highlight palette. Not Urban Decay, Lime Crime. Speak English. And I just combined these 2 shades together. I used Pearl and Seashell. This is the Mermaids palette. They're beautiful. These are actually really beautiful highlighters. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray. And then I set my brows with the ColourPop, with the e.l.f. Wow Brow, And then for my lips, I thought I took this out today. Why am I a mess? Where did I put this lippy today? Ouchies. I used the Alice in Wonderland lippy. Wonderland. But I gotta find the actual lipstick. Here it is. Where did I put the gloss? I don't know where I put it. But yeah, this is when they like changed the packaging over to like this really... I actually think that this packaging is adorable. Like the same... They have the same packaging for the Belle collection. Like, so cute, right? They have the purple for Alice and the yellow for... But I actually think the Alice one, like, lasts better because I feel like the Belle packaging is already, like, wearing off. So that's a little bit cheap because the pink ones that I have when they first changed over this packaging with the Disney lipsticks, when they came out with that whole lipstick collection for the princesses... that's when they started this packaging, and then this was the first like individual collection that they had this plastic packaging for the Disney collection. But again, I feel like this one holds up better. But anyway, I went into the shade Curiouser and Curiouser. No, Most Curious. And then I did use the gloss, which for some reason I can't find right now, in the shade Total Nonsense over that. So I just used like the 2 Disney lip duos. And it was really pretty. And that was it as far as my makeup goes. And then as far as a reading update goes, I'm still reading Abby Jimenez's Part of Your World. And I have gotten up to page like 65. Now I'm on page 150, but this, again, is the day after. So yeah, that's it. Bye! Hey, so hey there, guys. I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So, I don't remember if I said this yesterday. I'm like, so... I went to Philadelphia for the day with my mom and my brother for, I think it's called a sip and see. Basically, it was for my cousin's kid. She was just born like 6 months ago, so we went to go see my mom's family and go there for the day. And actually, we were only there, I guess it might have been exactly 3 hours, because I think we got into Philadelphia by like 11:30, and then we left at 2:30, so wasn't really that long. We had to get up at 7 in the morning to make an 8 a.m. train to be in Philadelphia by 11:30, so it was fun though. I had a good time. So I primed my eyes with Anastasia eye primer. Of course, I'm tired as hell, but yeah. And then I went in with the Clarins lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay pressed powder, and then sorry, give me a second. I'm tired. And then I went in with the Natasha Denona Yucca palette today because I felt like using this one because I do like using Natasha Denona or something more luxury when I, go out and do something that I need my eyeshadow on for the whole day. So I went in with Ixia in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Valley. And then I used Flax on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I went into Plantasia. And then for the inner corners, I used Kohlrabi. I'm very tired, so I'm really hungry because we only really had like a brunch before, and that was like at 12 o'clock, and it's now like 6:30, so I'm really hungry. So and then I went in with the Makeup by Mario liner in the shade brown on the waterline, and then I went into the Essence Lash Primer, and then the Lancome Idol Mascara, and the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes, and of course I went into the Brighter Days from Blend Bunny on the brow bone. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer, and then for my foundation I went into the Lancome Taint Idol Ultra Wear foundation in the shade 120N, of course, because it's always like my tried and true. It might have worn off a little bit here on my nose because I had to hold my nose in one of the Ubers going back because it smelled so bad, and I was like holding my nose like this the whole time. That's Philadelphia for you, the shithole of the nation besides New Jersey. And then I went into the Tarte C concealer in the shade Porcelain 8S and Porcelain Sand, 8S Porcelain Sand. Wow, I cannot talk. Of course, because again, those are my go-tos. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder, and then I set my face with the Urban Decay pressed powder. And then for my bronzer, of course, I went into my Gucci bronzer in the shade 01. And then for my blush, which actually lasted a ridiculously good amount of time. I mean, the House Labs blushes are fantastic. So I went into just the newest House Labs blush that I have worn several times already. This is the Color Fuse blush in the shade Fire and Moon. I just knew I wanted to use one of these because I knew it would last all day. And then for my highlight, it's kind of still there. I went into the Natasha Denona highlighter again in the shade... It's just the highlighter in the My Dream Duo. I don't know why I can't read that right now. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into the Pat McGrath Labs lip liner in the shade... I can never remember the shade name of this for some reason. Structure. And then for my liquid lipstick, I went into the Lime Crime liquid lipstick in the shade Lulu. And that's everything I used as far as my makeup goes. And as far as a reading update goes, I did read more of Part of Your World last night. I didn't finish it, but I got up to page 209. So I did read quite a bit of this last night. I think I read like 100-some pages. So I'm hoping to finish it tonight. We'll see. But I did bring my Kindle with me on the train so I can do quite a bit of reading. So then I didn't have to worry about my phone dying. It's just so great that I'm able to bring my Kindle. And I actually started Emily Henry's Funny Story. And I got up to page 129. Like I said, I did want to read Emily Henry's newest book on the train because I didn't want to start it yet until I was going to Philadelphia. But I guess I could have started it yesterday but I didn't want to start it until I finished Part of Your World. But I also didn't want to finish it yet by the time I was going to Philadelphia. So, but then I probably could have just finished Finding 13 on the train. But I've been enjoying both books so far. I've been loving this book, Part of Your World. So, yeah. And Funny Story's been really good so far, too. I don't know if it's topping Beach Read as for now, but right now I'm really enjoying it. I think that the characters are even more real than some of her other books, and I'm definitely enjoying it, I think, more so than Book Lovers, but this one's a bit more slow burn, but they actually have kissed already. So yeah, that's about it. Bye! Okay, so hey there, guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I actually did not leave the house yesterday. I just stayed home and read all day. I didn't end up finishing a book. I wish that I did. But I will tell you guys where I ended up in the book that I'm reading right now. Still reading on my Kindle, but I actually went out with two of my best friends today, and we went to go see the movie Fall Guy, and it was actually hysterical. I freaking loved it. It was I think it's like my favorite movie I've seen this year. It was just so good. It was exactly what I needed right now. I'm going through a lot of stuff personally right now. I don't know if I will tell you guys about that because it is personal. Not that anybody comments on my videos anyway. So, maybe I'll share it one day. We will see. So yeah, but it was great. I just really need my friends right now. So, and they've been helping me through it like so much. So anyway, I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the Clarins lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay pressed powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, I really wanted to go back into the Simply Posh Citrus Punch palette because I really like using this palette when the spring and summer rolls around, and I thought it would be really pretty with the shirt that I ended up wearing. I wore like this floral green pastel shirt. So I went in with Fizz and Lemon in the crease to like put those two together. I just love this palette because it's so pigmented and it looks so beautiful. And then I went into Orange to darken up the crease more. And then for the outer corners, I wanted to use the shade Lime to put a little bit of that green in there. And then for the lid, I went into the shade Tasty, which is just such a pretty like corally orangey shade. And then for the inner corners, I went into Tangerine. I just love this palette so much. And hopefully I can use it a bit more this week, but probably won't be able to use it again until next week, but we'll see. I just really love this palette in the spring and summertime. And then for the waterline, I went into the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Aglow. And then for my mascara, I went into the Essence Lash Primer and then the Tarte Tartelette Tubing Mascara on the top lashes. And then the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the Liquid Poreless Putty Primer by e.l.f. And then for my foundation, I just went into the Glossier foundation. And it definitely, I actually ended up returning the Urban Decay Face Bond foundation. I don't know if I said that before, but this one definitely holds up better than that one does. But the difference is that this doesn't feel like the Sahara Desert on my face by the end of the day. So this is the shade, the Stretch Fluid Foundation in the shade Very Light. And then for my concealer, I went into the Urban Decay Naked Quickie Concealer in the shade 10NN. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then I set my face with the Urban Decay Pressed Powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into my Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in the shade Tantric. And then I'm just tired. I can't wait to finish this book that I'm reading. And then for my blush, I went into the Sailor Moon and ColourPop blush in the shade Cat's Eye. And then for my highlight, I went into my Odin's Eye Soulmate Moonlight Feel Highlighter in the shade Warm Sunshine. I've used this like countless times. Kind of like didn't last as well as I would have liked to though, and kind of my blush faded as well. I don't know why my face makeup like faded quite a bit tonight when I just went to the movies and went to Fridays with my friends. But this one is the one from Odin's Eye. I almost dropped that. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray. And then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into the ColourPop Lip Liner in the shade Minuteman. And then for my liquid lipstick, I went into the Clarity Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Brinks, which is just a really beautiful, like, corally color. And then for my... So that's it for my makeup. And then as far as the reading update goes, I am still reading on my Kindle. And I am reading Emily Henry's Funny Story. And I'm actually on page 313. So I got quite a bit through it last night and today. I think I was like on page 245 last night. And today I'm almost 100 pages in more, but I think I only have like 70 pages to finish tonight, so I am going to finish it, because I think it says like less than 3 hours left that I have to finish this book tonight, so that's what we're gonna do, and yeah, that's pretty much it, so yeah, bye! Okay, so hey there guys, so I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I'm pretty tired, and I had a couple drinks with my work bestie, so I went out with her tonight, and I just got home like 15 minutes ago, and we had a couple drinks. I actually went back to the same place that I went to with one of my best friends like a couple days ago, because I was like, girl, you need to try this, it's so good, and everything was chef's kiss again. It was so good, and the cocktails were delicious. So yeah, so I prime my face with the Anastasia eye primer, excuse me, and then I used the Clarins lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay pressed powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, I went into Nomad, and I went into the Nomad Feats de Provence palette, because I haven't used this palette literally all year yet, and I'm like, you know what, I kind of want to use it today, and I kind of wanted to go in with Nomad, so I decided to use this one. And I wanted to do kind of like a sunset kind of eye, and I think it turned out really, really pretty. So I went into this yellow, I'm not going to say the names because they're all in French and I'm going to butcher them so bad. So I went into this Marigold shade first in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with this peach shade right here. And then for the outer corners, I went in with this deeper, like, pinkish red shade on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I went into the peachy orangey shimmer. It's just so pretty. And then for the inner corners, I went into Fleur de Mimosa. So I'm actually really happy that I used this, because again, I haven't used it in quite a while. And again, I really wanted to use Nomad because, and also like, I wanted to go in with something like kind of peachy tone, but also like, I don't have to worry about too much about the colors that I use on my eyes, because I was wearing something white. So I wore like this white jumpsuit that I got from Lucky last year, and I actually wore this in California. And I haven't worn it since California, literally last June. So I was like, I kind of want to wear it today. And then I went into the Brighter Days from Len Bunny on the brow bone for the Forget Me Not palette. And then I went into the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner. And I went into the yellow shade. This is the shade Two Can Do It. And then for my mascara, I went into the Essence Lash Primer, and then I went into the Tartelette Tubing Mascara, and then I went into the Maybelline Lash Discovery Mascara. And then for my face, I primed with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer, and then I went into the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick in the shade 0.0 Pearl. And then for my concealer, I went into the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer in the shade LG3. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Lab powder. And then I set my face with the Urban Decay Pressed Powder. It was also super warm tonight, and we actually sat outside at the place that we went to, and everything was so delicious. Oh my god, chef's kiss. Everything was amazing. And then I went in with the House Labs bronzer to bronze up my face in the shade Light Level 1. So I just used that. And then for my blush, I went into my Rare Beauty blush because I wanted to use it again. So I went into the shade Joy, the powder blush. And then for my highlight, I went into the Nomad Cindy Bather's Balmoral Beach highlighter. I can never say the name of this, but I went into this highlighter. It's like this really beautiful, like super peachy highlight, but honestly, like the Nomad highlighters are so gorgeous, and you can still see how pretty it is on my skin. It just lays so smoothly and beautifully. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into... Can I put this back in the freaking box? I don't know why I still have this box still. It's not like I really need to keep it, but whatevs. For my lips, I went into the ColourPop Minute Man liner, and then for my lipstick, I went into one of my Dior lipsticks. This is the Dior Addict lipstick in the shade 421, which is kind of like this tinted, like glossy liquid lipstick with some plumping in it. But it's just really, really pretty. It's kind of like not a super like matte liquid lipstick. It's kind of more of like a glossy finish liquid lipstick. It's really pretty. So that's everything as far as my makeup goes. And then as far as a reading update goes, I did finish Emily Henry's Funny Story literally this morning. I only had 10 more pages to finish, but I actually ended up finishing 2 books today, and I will tell you why I finished 2 books. But I was trying to finish Funny Story last night, but I literally stayed up till like 4 a.m. trying to finish it. But I also was like falling asleep after I read like 20 pages. It was so bad. Actually, like maybe like 30, 40 pages. I was on page like 350, and I was like falling asleep at that point, but then I only had like 35 pages left. And I was trying so hard to finish it, but then of course I stayed up way too late, and I ended up talking to one of my friends, and then I ended up staying up until 4:30, and then of course I didn't end up finishing it anyway, but I finished it this morning at like 11 a.m. because I only had like 10 pages. I need to stop going to bed at 4 in the morning. Like, it's really bad. But also, like, I've been having a lot more time during the day now. And like I said, I'll share that at some point, but I don't really feel comfortable sharing it right now at this time. I just really appreciate my friends during this time and am processing everything through my friends, and I love them to death, and I'm so grateful for my friends right now. But Funny Story was good. It wasn't Beach Read though. Beach Read is still my favorite Emily Henry book right now. I really, really, really want to read Happy Place at some point, but I actually started another book today that was on my TBR. But I think I'm going to read Happy Place after I finish this duology. So I finished Funny Story, and I would give it a 4 stars. I wouldn't really give it any higher than 4 stars because I found myself being a bit bored around the middle of the book. But I don't believe that Emily Henry could actually ever write a bad book. It was still good, but it was not Beach Read for me. And honestly, right now, Beach Read is number 1, Book Lovers is number 2, and Funny Story is number 3. I liked it, but I did not love this book as much as Beach Read. So it was still good. It was still worth reading, of course. I love Emily Henry. I've now read 3 out of her 5 books. I'm still working on the other two, but again, I think I'm going to read Happy Place a lot earlier than I intended to, because Funny Story was my only Emily Henry book on my TBR for May, but now I really would like to read Happy Place very soon. So, but I also ended up finishing my audiobook today that I was listening to, and I actually finally finished the first book in the Boys of Tommen series called Binding 13. And the reason why I started reading this book is because this is like Larry Reed's, which is like she is my favorite booktuber. I mean, come on. If you don't watch Larry, like, what are you doing with your life? I love her to pieces. She is so funny. And Boys of Tommen is like her all-time favorite series. So I'm like, oh, okay, like I really want to read this series. So I started listening to the audiobook in April and I finished it today. So I would say probably 85% of the book I listened to on the audiobook, and maybe 15% of it I read on my Kindle, because I would mostly read this book when I would go get my nails done and I would read like a couple of chapters. But like I said, 85% of this book I was listening to either when I was getting ready, like putting my makeup on, or like showering at night, or also like in the car driving home from like seeing a friend or seeing my boyfriend. So and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's definitely a 5 out of 5 stars for me. It was so good. It's one of the funniest books I've ever listened to, but also it covered some really serious topics, but also it was freaking hilarious in some parts. And I would say if you are interested in the Boys of Tommen series, I would highly recommend listening to the audiobooks, because I find that it enhanced my experience with these books so much more, that I find that it helps so much more listening to the audible versions of these books rather than reading them, because the narrators were amazing. They are so funny, and I just found myself laughing so much, but also like it does cover some really serious topics. So check your trigger warnings, but also I felt like this book really balanced comedy with also really dark topics, like honestly perfectly. So that's why it was a 5 out of 5 stars for me, but it was so good. And then I actually started the second book, Keeping 13, in my car driving home from seeing my friend tonight. I just listened to the first chapter because it was like 30 minutes, and wow, the ending of Binding 13, wow, like you cannot wait to see what happens in the second book, because that ending was literally jaw-dropping, and oh my god, it was so good. So I actually ended up finishing 2 books today, so that actually made me feel really good. I mean, even though I had like 30 pages of one book and like 10 pages of another book, I still finished 2 books today. So then I also started a physical book, and I started the first book in the Light Lark duology, which is Light Lark by Alex Astor, and I did say that this was going to be on my TBR for May, and this was going to be my first fantasy duology for this month. And so far, I'm actually really enjoying this, and I am on page 77, so I got through the first 77 pages. I was hoping to get through more of that this afternoon, but I actually ended up falling asleep at one point, because again, I'm going to sleep way too late. But this is really good so far. I'm kind of feeling like this is already a combination of The Hunger Games and Powerless, but also this came out a lot earlier than Powerless. This came out in 2022, and Powerless came out, I believe, last year. So it came out only a year before, but I would say that Powerless is a combination of this book and The Hunger Games. But a lot of people say that Powerless is a combination of Red Queen and the Hunger Games, which I still haven't read Red Queen yet, but Red Queen is on my TBR for the end of this month. So we're going to do a lot of comparisons in June to this duology and Powerless and Red Queen, I feel like. So yeah, but so far this has been really good. I'm super tired, so I'm going to go. But yeah, I will tell you guys more of my thoughts about Light Lark as I read it more. But again, I'm so happy that I finished 2 books today. So now I've finished 4 books in May. And yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. It's actually pretty late right now. It's like almost 1. I'm pretty fucking tired. I got my nails done today too. I got like this chrome blue color. I think it looks so pretty. I had a couple drinks too. So yeah, so I went out to me and my best friend's favorite spot to go eat. It's called Nosh Kitchen and Cocktails, and their food is so good. But their drinks, honestly, I haven't had drinks more potent than when I drink there. Like, you really get your money's worth and you're buzzed for like hours afterwards. It's 100% worth it when you get the drinks there, but if you live on the island, of course. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the Clarins lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay pressed powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, I went in with the ColourPop Beauty and the Beast palette. And I wanted to use the last shade that I hadn't used in the palette. So now I've actually used all of the shimmers in here. And what's funny, of course, is that as soon as I finished testing out this one, I actually ordered the Pokemon palette from ColourPop as well. Because y'all know I love Disney. But also, I was a huge Pokemon fan growing up. I had like 300 cards. I was a serious Pokemon collector. I didn't really play the game that much, but let me tell you, I collected the cards. I don't know what happened to all of my good cards at this point. My mom saved like this random deck, but it wasn't like, oh my god. Anyway, so I went in with Kind-Hearted in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Beast. And then I used West Wing on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I went into Vivid Imagination, which is this really beautiful, like shimmery, whitish color with a little bit of pink. Oh my god. And then I went into Book Lover on the inner corners because I wanted a little bit of that pop of like shimmery gold blue, because I wore like this denim-y like star and moon shirt. So, and then I went into the Brighter Days from Blend Bunny on the brow bone. And then for my waterline, I went into the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Prance. And then I went into the Essence Lash Primer, and then I went into the Tartelette Tubing Mascara on the top lashes, and then I went into the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then I primed my face. I thought I was gonna burp. I'm just yawning. I went into, of course, the Do It Spray and the, I'm just looking at my foundation right now, and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. And then for my foundation and concealer, which these actually both look so good still, I went into the Makeup Forever HD Skin Concealer in the shade 1RO2 and the coinciding concealer in the shade 1.1N. And then I set my face with the Urban Decay pressed powder. I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder, and then I bronzed up my skin with the Gucci bronzer in the shade 01. And then for my blush, I went into the Marc Jacobs blush in the shade Kinks and Kisses, which is a really beautiful like nudish blush. And then for my highlight, I went into the Gimme Glow Cosmetics highlighter in the shade White Noise. And then, which is such a beautiful, like, super intense highlight. I can still see it, but yeah, I can still see it. It didn't really fade. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup setting spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brows. And then for my lips, I went into the Papergraph Labs lip liner in the shade Structure. And then for my lips, I went into the Jaclyn Hill. I know I still have this, but I don't watch her anymore. But I still use the lip products and the products that I got from her, because they're still really good products. I should have used the highlighter, but it's fine. I'll use them eventually. I went into the liquid lipstick shade in the shade Empowered. So that's everything I used as far as my makeup goes. And then as far as a reading update goes, I'm still reading Light Lark by Alex Astor. I'm on page 154. So I didn't really get too far into this, but hopefully I'll read. I'm hoping to read another at least 50 or 60 pages tonight. That's probably going to be the goal. But I've been taking like a bit longer to finish books right now, but also this book is 400 pages. We'll see how far I get. It is pretty late right now, but I'm going to read until I go to sleep. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to read quite a bit more, maybe like 220. And then I'm hoping to finish this book by tomorrow so we can go into the sequel, which is Nightbane. So far I'm really enjoying this. I think it's really good so far. It's definitely keeping my interest the entire time, and I want to see what happens. So yeah, that's it. Bye! And also I'm listening to the audiobook of The Boys of Tommen #2, which is Keeping 13, and I'm loving that. And also I started another book on my Kindle today because I'm trying to, like, you know, read books in like different formats, but also like when I go get my nails done, I do bring my Kindle with me because I'm not going to bring like a physical book with me when the Kindle's so much easier to bring everywhere, and then you don't have to worry about like holding open a book. And I started Abby Jimenez's Yours Truly, which is the second book in the Part of Your World series. And that book is actually free on Kindle, and it's been on my Kindle Unlimited for a while. So I decided to start that today. And I'm really liking it so far. I only got 25 pages in. I am going to finish that later this month. But when I can read my Kindle, I'm going to read that. But we're definitely going to continue reading this. So yeah, that's it. Bye. I have to work tomorrow. Bye. Hey, so hey there guys, I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I actually just got home from work. Had to work today and I'm working tomorrow. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the Clarins lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the Dior powder. I was actually going to wear something totally different today, but it ended up being like really cold today for some reason. The temperature dropped like 20 degrees, so I just ended up wearing like a long sweatshirt, but I mean a long sleeve sweatshirt, but it's like cute with the like lace on top. So anyway, I did go in with the eyeshadow palette that I wanted to use today though, which is the Ensley Ring Cosmetics Cold Moon palette. And I went in with a few of like the mauve shades, but also like I did say I wanted to use this palette a little bit more often again. So I went back into it again. I think I've used quite a few of the shimmers now for a second time. So I went in with Orithia in the crease. Then I darkened, excuse me, up the crease more with Catmint. And then I went into Mother's Night on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I went into Borealis. And then for the brow bone, I went into Mauja. And then for the inner corners, I went into Snow Fairies. So that's what I use as far as my eyeshadow goes. And then I went into my ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Charmer. And then for my mascara, I went into the Essence Lash Primer. And then for my mascara, I used the Benefit Fan Fest mascara. And then I went into the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. And then for my foundation and concealer, I went into the Makeup by Mario foundation, the Surreal Skin foundation in the shade 1C. And then for my concealer, I went into the Makeup by Mario concealer in the shade 120. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then I set my face with the Dior powder. And then for my bronzer, blush, and highlight, I went into the Pat McGrath Labs powder bronzer in the shade Naked Desire, because I just wanted to use my Pat McGrath one today. And then for my blush, I went into, sorry, I'm tired. I was staying up way too late again. I went into the House Labs blush in the shade Lavender Haze, because it's just a really pretty, like, lavender pink shade. And then for my highlight, I went into the Kaleidos Lo-Fi Duo Blusher in the shade Bloom, which is this shade right here. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into the Essence Lip Liner in the shade Sucker for Gray. And then for my lipstick, I went into the, I have it right here, because it's still in my purse because I didn't take it out because I just got home. I went into the Gorgeous lipstick in the shade Fake and Bacon. I haven't used this in quite a long time, and it's just such a pretty purple shade. Sorry if it's like bleeding a little bit on the corner, but I'm not going to fix it now because I'm about to take my makeup off, because I'm probably just going to read for the rest of the night. I've been trying to get, I've just been reading at like a slower pace, but I think I read like 70 pages today, actually. So, but I just haven't really been reading like my 100-page average. But I'm still reading Light Lark by Alex Astor, but I'm not going to make it like a huge deal if I don't finish a book in like 3 days, like, or 2 days. Like, I kind of feel like if I do that, you know, I just need to read what I can read that day. I'm still reading, and it's not like, but, you know, you just, when you just want to read all the time, it's annoying when you can't finish the book when you wish you had the time to. But, you know, time gets away from all of us. But this book is like 400-something pages, so I'll see if I can read quite a bit tonight. But I'm probably going to finish it tomorrow. I was hoping to finish it tonight, but I don't really feel like reading like another 160 pages. I don't think I'm even going to be able to stay up for that. So I'll try and read what I can. Hopefully I'll get up to page 300 at least. That's only another like 65 pages. And then I'll just, because I wanted to read more at work, but honestly I was so busy at work tonight. Like, I just had customer after customer come in after my coworker left, and I didn't really get to sit down and read. I read like 6 pages. So, but I read like 45 pages before work and then like 15 pages this morning. So I still read like 70 pages, which is still pretty good because I was on page 185. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I'm going to go. Bye.